Hello. We are live. Am I coming through loud and clear? Can everybody hear me? Let's see here. Yes, I am very loud and clear. Yes. That's why the teachers in elementary school would always call on me to read passages from the books that we would be learning from. Because she was like, your voice always carried. You've got a good carry to your voice. And I'd be like, well, my mom always says I've got a big mouth. So it just makes sense. Let's see. Hello, Tennessee Tammy. How's it going? Hey, DJ, what's up? Joe Reese, what's up? Dude. Amy Zing, hello. There's Dave. What's up, Dave? In New Jersey. Got some snow up in Jersey, man. I think Amy got snow in Connecticut. So crazy because here in Kentucky it was like 60 degrees today. It was ridiculously unseason like. So, but yeah, this is my monthly patron stream, and joining me tonight so far, I've got my buddy Mike all the way from the UK. What's going on, Mike? Hey, can you hear me?
I think I'm frozen. Hang on.
I can. You're moving, but I can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm frozen. My screen's stuck on the. I'll log out and I'll come back in.
Okay. Mike was here, but he'll be back. 67 in Georgia. It wasn't quite that warm here, but it was unseasonably warm here. Gibbs, check your Twitter DMs, man. I may have slid into your DMs, as the kids say these days. Hey, PlayStation 9, what's up? Haddonfield Slasher, hello. Snowy in Massachusetts. Hey, Manny Moore, what's going on? Yeah, this is the COVID cut. This is just, not being too not getting my hair cut in months and months and months. This is it. So I finally got past that part where, you're just kind of like shaggy and it looks like, just kind of looks like you're not taking care of yourself, to the point now where it's kind of like, oh, so you're growing your hair out. I just thought you were like a drunk or, maybe had some kind of substance issue. So here we go. I think Mike's back now. Hey, Mike,
yeah. I don't know what happened there. It's just something to do with StreamYard. I just couldn't get into the studio for some reason.
We could see you and hear you, but I don't think you could hear me or see me.
Yeah, I don't know. It's I think either my phone or StreamYard. I'm not sure, but I'm good now.
You're doing good. How's everything going over in the UK?
Yeah. It's just the same old. Nothing's open. No cinemas, no pubs. Can't get drunk. Can't go and watch a film. Can't go and, you can order a pizza, but you can't go and sit down in a pizza restaurant. So it's just you can't even go to McDonald's. You've got to go through a drive-through. Mm-hmm. You can't sit down in a McDonald's. It's pretty depressing.
It is. I was doing a stream last night with Dominic Mancini, who's he reps celebrities for conventions, and he was like, God, I'm so ready to get back out on the road, and I miss the scene, and I miss seeing everybody, and I miss, it's like ready to get back to some level of normalcy. But I've been ready to get back to some level of normalcy forever. I actually just saw a thing on Facebook, as a matter of fact, like Biden has ordered an additional 200 million doses of the vaccine. So that's breaking news. Maybe I don't know. what was he waiting for? You know what I mean? Get him, bring him. You know what I mean? So,
I mean, how's Jeremy coping? Because you said that Jeremy said that once 2021 comes around, it's all going to be okay. So
he said the virus was going to clear in January, and of course that's not quite happened. But he's, there are times where, like, and he'll let you know, he'll go, I miss the bookstore. And he'll say it just like that too, all pitiful. I miss the movies. Or, you know what I mean? He misses, like, just getting out, being able to get out and run around. He likes going to, like, Missions and Goodwills and secondhand stores, because that's where you find, like, the old books and stuff. And so he'll remind me every now and again, I miss the Mission. And I'm like, I know, Bubba. So, we'll things will be better soon. Things will be better soon. So we're not quite in that severe of a lockdown. Most restaurants, you've got to go through the drive-through. There are some sit-down restaurants that are still open. I think they're only doing very sparse as far as the capacity is. And I see us going into another lockdown like yours very soon too. So, I don't know. But you seen any good movies lately?
I did actually watch The Dark and the Wicked the other night. It's not my thing. I understand. I know you liked it, Liz, but it's just the whole rural, that very rural setting, farmyard, farm. That's not really what I go for when I watch a horror film. It's just, I appreciate it for what it is, but yeah, it's not really my sort of thing. But I can appreciate, obviously, it's a well-made film, and it's for Shudder. It's really, really sort of like professional, but really well made. I mean, I would never have thought that was a Shudder movie, but it does seem to be sort of quite sort of nothing against Shudder. I'm not saying there's any, but it seems to be an expensive, well-made, well-shot film.
Yeah,
it's just not really my thing, But I do appreciate it for what it is.
Jay the Stingray says it was actually shot on the director's family farm in Texas. So I mean that saved him some money. But yeah, this same director, he did The Strangers. So
have you ever seen the European version of The Strangers? Then
yes,
I think that's a far better film than the American remake.
Yeah,
way better film.
Yeah, them is it's very good movie. Yeah, very good.
I definitely.
I think I may have reviewed that one years and years ago. I don't remember, but I know I've talked about it before on the channel. But it's a really good movie.
It's so good. It's just the ending as well. It's just I'm not going to spoil anything, but just just how mundane the killers are. It's nothing, you know what I mean? It's just, you're expecting, I mean, obviously I'm not going to spoil it, but you're expecting something, and it's there, that's it. And if that makes it all the more chilling.
Yeah. It's very cavalier about taking lives, just like flicking a bug off your shirt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that and them is a very good film. If you all out there have not seen it, I highly, highly recommend it. Mike and I both clearly. It's also known as Ills, and I'm sure you can find it on DVD pretty cheaply. It's probably on some streaming platform out there. There are so many. So, thank you, Gabe. What does Mama Piz think of Jeremy's celebrity YouTube status and all the packages he gets from around the world? Thank you for that $4.99 super chat, man. I appreciate it. Very good question, because Jeremy will take the stuff to show her, or like he'll wear a shirt and like she'll ask me like, oh, that's a new shirt. Where did he get that at? I'm like, well, Gabe from California sent that to him. It's like, what? People just send you all stuff? No. Yes. Yeah. Sometimes it's pretty cool. So, but she kind of knows that, I do videos with Jeremy, and Jeremy's in some of the videos, and that, you know, people like Jeremy. So I think she kind of gets a kick out of it, but yeah. But thank you for that, Gabe. I appreciate it, man. Very kind of you. But yes, Eels, definitely I would recommend that film. I'm doing good, PlayStation 9, just hanging out, trying to stay sane in this crazy world. One thing I wanted to mention and kind of request everybody do. Yesterday was Tobe Hooper's birthday, or would have been Tobe Hooper's birthday, and I believe he would have been 78 yesterday. Watch a Tobe Hooper movie tonight, or sometime this week, or this weekend. If you've been putting off watching Chainsaw, watch Chainsaw, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. If you're familiar with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but you're not that familiar with his other work, you know, go watch go watch The Funhouse. Go watch Life Force. Go watch Chainsaw 2. Go watch Eaten Alive. Go watch Salem's Lot. I love Salem's Lot. Watch Crocodile. I love Crocodile. He's got a lot of other really good movies out there. Yeah, you know, it's too bad that he's no longer with us. He's kind of, you know, he's the Chainsaw Massacre guy, but he did a lot of other solid films that a lot of people don't seem to know about, or if they've seen them, they just they don't, you know, maybe it didn't resonate at the time. I don't know, but yeah, watch a Tobe Hooper movie tonight, or sometime this week, or this weekend for sure.
I've never even heard of Crocodile.
Crocodile. It's one of the later. It's one of the later Tobe Hooper movies. So it's basically just a big killer crocodile running around eating vacationing teenagers, and it's everything that you could want out of a giant crocodile movie with, you know, running around eating teenagers. And so it's fun. I like it. It's much better than some of his later work after that. I did go back and revisit his Toolbox Murders remake, and I actually it was much better than I remembered it being. So I would throw that one out there too, the Toolbox Murders remake. Are any other favorite Tobe Hooper movies for you, Mike?
Pretty much just, you know, I mean, Chainsaw Massacre is obviously, you know, that is the sort of one that I always go to as a sort of real, you know, because there's something about that film. It's so raw. It's so the thing with the Chainsaw Massacre, it came out in 74, yeah?
74,
so
yeah.
There's nothing really like it before or after for a good, like, few years. That it's just on its own.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't really start a genre. It kind of came out, then it disappeared, and it didn't like trigger like a revolution in like that sort of, like, you know, which makes it all the more unique in a way, because unlike Halloween or Friday the 13th, when those movies dropped, you got like just a wave of these sort of slasher films. Chainsaw Massacre came out. It's not as if you suddenly got a wave of, like, you know, backwoods or, you know, backcountry chainsaw movies. It just kind of was of its. There's part of maybe Hills of Eyes was probably similar, and that was like 3 years later.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got so much respect for that film, because it really does stand alone, and it certainly stands the test of time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's I think it did a lot for creating that archetype of the slasher movie, with the kid with, you know, a young cast, and the killer with the mask and the trademark, you know, weapon of death. And but as far as just the aesthetic and the rawness of that film, nothing I think has touched it really. Yeah. And it's the kind of movie too. I mean, like, you could Halloween's a ride. Friday the 13th is a ride. You can have fun watching those movies. You can't really have fun watching Chainsaw Massacre, although there's a lot of really humorous moments in it. It's a gritty, dirty, nasty, beautiful movie, I think. Hey, Lauren, what's up, man?
Not a lot. How are you?
Pretty good. What's going on?
Hey,
with
Lon.
Not really that much. Just trying to set my life in order. The daily struggle.
Getting your affairs in order. Understandable.
Yeah, scratching out the last will and testament on some loose leaf paper. That's all.
We were talking about Tobe Hooper and Tobe Hooper's birthday, and I recommended everybody watch a Tobe Hooper movie tonight or this weekend or this week or this weekend. Would you recommend a particular Hooper film other than Chainsaw Massacre for people to watch?
Really anything until the end. Once you get to into the 2000s, it gets pretty desperate. Before that, anything before that is worth a watch. Toolbox Murders is the one I think people sleep on that does not deserve to be ignored. I think that film has a lot going for it and kind of got lumped in with all those direct-to-video later day sequels and remakes that were being made.
Well, and that movie that's not even a finished movie. They had to just end it because they ran out of money. It's not even like it's like they finished that movie in editing. That's how they just sort of put it together in editing.
But the interesting thing is that I think that Hooper thought that no matter what happened, he wanted the money to be on screen that he had.
Right.
Because it's a good looking film and it's ambitious with how it tells itself. So I think rather than make something cheap and complete, he decided to make something incomplete and luscious, which certainly none of his peers at that point in their career really did. If you look at everyone else on the slide, they tended to just make complete films that kind of disappoint. Whereas that film, you just wish there was more of it. You know, that would be what you really need.
Yeah. And he had some kind of rough breaks there. The whole spontaneous combustion debacle, and he was supposed to direct what would have been I forget what it was, but it turned out to be a huge movie, but he couldn't direct it because he was still working on freaking spontaneous combustion.
Well, that had happened before in his career too, with Return of the Living Dead.
That's right. Oh, it was Return of the Living Dead, as a matter of fact. Yeah, he was going to direct Return of the Living Dead, but he couldn't do it because of spontaneous combustion. Return of the Living Dead is now a classic, and who's even, people are going spontaneous combustion. He directed a movie called Spontaneous Combustion,
which don't search too hard for.
I wouldn't know. What's funny though is you can see that movie starts out really strong.
The first 7 minutes are pretty great.
Exactly, and then it just crumbles from there.
And I think that was a film that it took too long because that what came out in 91.
I think eventually, yeah.
It was just too late for what it wanted to do, and it would have fared a lot better had they actually made and released the film around 86, 87. But whatever. I mean, actually, that should have been Hooper's version of Firestarter. Is what it should have been. But whatever.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of similarities.
Yeah, Brad Dourif, Tobe Hooper, Brad Dourif. You know what I mean? It could have been something, but it just didn't happen. And it wasn't necessarily Toby's fault. It was just bad producers pulling money out and the horrible production and just bad stuff.
Defiled Divinity says he just found Crocodile on Tubi. Let me tell you something. Besides the really awful CGI in that film, there's still enough of old Tobe Hooper in it to carry you through. But it's not going to be on the top of anyone's resume.
Yeah.
But the CGI really harms that movie.
It's that early day CGI, low budget CGI at that. It's not good. It's not good.
No.
Yeah. No. Well, have you seen any good movies lately, Lauren?
I've been revisiting a lot of old Giallos right now. I'm taking my own advice of trying to collect the stuff that I've been letting slide before it's no longer an option to buy it as a physical disc. Because I think some of the more obscure titles are going to be hit and miss about their availability after those days come and go. So I've been watching a lot of older. So I just revisited both the Dalamanos, What have they done to your children? What have they done to Solange films? Strip Nude for Your Killer. I've been going back, of course, to Martino, which I've been doing for about a month now and trying to watch everything. Just watched Scorpion with Two Tails, which I still feel exactly the same way, which is the money's not there for that movie, but it feels kind of like Fulci was at the same time when he made Enigma. It's kind of a similar kind of feel in that you can see the film they wanted to make in it, but it's not on screen. So.
Yeah.
But, I'm excited. We get Saint Maud next week in theaters and on Stars for the 7 people who have Stars.
I've heard of that. I've heard people mention that movie. I'm really not that familiar with it. Saint Maud.
Is it modern day law, or is it set in the past?
The trailer has nothing in it to concretely say when it takes place, but it's not another it's not a time period piece. It looks modern, but it might be taking place in like 20 years ago. I don't know. There's nothing that screams that it has there's like they're not throwing smartphones in your face every 7 seconds in the trailer. So
yeah,
it's got very good ratings so far. The debut film from writer-director Rose Glass, Saint Maud, is a chilling and boldly original vision of faith, madness, and salvation in a fallen world.
It's an A24 film.
Okay.
So you're getting extreme emotions. You're going to get disturbing imagery, and the producers that work on the A24 films are very good about making sure that they have what they need when they need it to draw everything they can get in, because all of their films could be a nightmare. Could be a bad nightmare so easily if the filmmaking was not 100% supported. Can you imagine a bad version of Midsummer? Because I absolutely can. So I trust A24 until I can't trust them anymore.
Mm-hmm. Hey, there you go. Hey, Captain Halloween, what's up, man? Keith, when are you going to be able to make a stream, man? We need to get you on stream. Let me see here. Stone, check your DMs, man. Have I seen Climax? I've not seen Climax. No.
I've seen the Karloff film, The Climax, but that's not the one you're talking about. That one's good.
Lord, have you seen them in 2007?
The Ills remake.
Yeah. The original, the French film.
Okay, well, there's 2 different films because Ills just means them. I've seen both. The original is a far superior film.
Oh yeah. We just saying before. I was saying to Piz that it's a fantastic film.
It is
far better than the remake.
I remember I watched it with friends, and when the car alarm started going off, it was such a simple, small thing in a movie. It's like it doesn't require any special effects, but there was just this amazing ability that the entire audience turned and looks at each other, and we all friends looking at it go, okay, this is going to get nasty fast now. The movie just turns, and you can feel the energy of that scene change everything.
I was saying to Piz about the mundanity of the killers, without going into spoilers, just the banality of that's what makes it more chilling.
Yeah, that kind of got like lumped in with the home invasion cycle, and it's a little bit unfair because you can see why it would, but it was going after bigger fish. Definitely.
Yeah, but very good movie. Again, I'm sure it's out there on some streaming platform. Look into it. If not, I'm sure you can find the DVD super cheap. I'm not even aware of a Blu-ray release, at least in the US, but there may be one. I'm not sure. Thoughts on the Wrong Turn remake? Anybody rushed out to see the Wrong Turn remake?
No. It looks cheap. It looks really cheap.
They all kind of look cheap, though.
No, but this looks cheaper than the original.
There's a theater about an hour from me that's playing it, but no, I didn't decide to put the miles under the wheels. I'd like to see it, and I'd like to see it in a theater, but I don't know. I'm probably going to travel at least that far to see St. Maud. So do I want to do that 2 weeks in a row?
Oh man. Yeah. Have you guys heard that there's a Day of the Dead television series coming to Sci-Fi?
Yeah.
Is there any possibility that that's going to be good, bad, good? At least indifferent.
Well, we've still got the Living Dead show, so I mean, do we need another zombie TV series?
According to Sci-Fi, we do, and it has to be a Day of the Dead one. So,
well, the Day of the Dead rights have been really, unfortunately, passed around like the girl who wasn't the prom queen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, that doesn't inspire confidence. But you know what? It really shouldn't be that hard to write a good zombie series. It shouldn't be that hard of a thing, really.
There's Jonathan, Mr. Bombastic. What's up, man?
Doing pretty well this evening. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, right on, man. Yeah, you were talking about the Day of the Dead rights. Like, how did did something happen in those, like the Day of the Dead rights and the Creep Show rights were like just in somebody's garage sale one day for a couple of bucks, or what happened there?
It was all the Lorimar collapse. All the films made past, like, I guess 78, 79, something like that, from Lorimar were just all internally possessed films, and when they collapsed, it became a yard sale. Just pretty much what you think.
Because I mean, those guys who got the rights to Creep Show and Day of the Dead, I mean, they couldn't have got them. They couldn't have spent much on them, or they spent all their money on the rights and had no money to make the actual movies. Because I mean, those movies, my God, I made it through 20 minutes of Day of the Dead 3 or Day of the Dead 2. I'm sorry. And I bailed. I couldn't stand it anymore. Not even tried the
well, there's Day of the Dead 2, and then there's Contagion. Then there's the remake Day of the Dead, which are different films. But
I couldn't make it through Contagion. I couldn't make it.
I mean,
isn't there a second sequel to Day of the Dead at this point now, or a second remake to Day of the Dead, or a sequel to the remake?
Well, there was Day of the Dead, then there was Day of the Dead Contagion, then there was the Steve Miner Day of the Dead, and then there was like another Day of the Dead movie that had the bad guy from the Prom Night remake in it as like the lead
that's the one I'm
zombie.
thinking of.
And pretty bad. That one was pretty bad.
it doesn't help that you can't really trademark the title Day of the Dead because it's a holiday.
Right.
I mean, not that you can trademark titles anyway, but you can trademark associations with titles. So in other words, making another zombie film called Day of the Dead would be a problem, except that the holiday is about dead people coming to life. So in that case, you'd probably title anything Day of the Dead and get away with it.
Hey, Stone, what's up, man?
What's up, guys?
How are you doing?
I'm doing terrific. I'm on top of the world right now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I think I'm in love for the first time in my life.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
pretty cool. You seen any good movies? You seen any good movies lately?
What did I just see? God, there's so many things going on. Yes. I saw The Rains Came, which was a 1939 20th Century Fox movie with Myrna Loy and Tyrone Power. Tyrone Power played an Indian, so there was plenty of whitewashing in it. But it actually was a very, very good film. And like I said, last Saturday, Lauren and Jay and I, we recorded a commentary for The Mask of Fu Manchu from 1932, and that'll be a Patreon exclusive. And that was quite the discovery. I gotta say, quite the discovery. I mean, with Myrna Loy and Boris Karloff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nico's in the chat. Nico, get your butt in here, man. Let's talk movies. Big Crack Rock was listening to us naked while in the shower.
That's not safe behavior.
It's appropriate behavior for the shower.
There is no home insurance that covers that shit. Okay.
No. Especially if you were listening to it on like a boombox. Don't drop the boombox in the shower with you.
Oh,
That-
boombox are probably okay as long as it's batteries.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's right. As long as it's not plugged into the wall, you're good.
Now, hair dryers never safe.
Not safe at all.
Not an issue with you, Lauren, though, is it?
You know, I own one. They're useful for many, many things.
Nico says he can't go on camera until May of 2022. Then it's damn the verbal torpedoes. But you can come on and just, Nerf torpedoes. Nerf ball torpedoes. Why not? We've got Jess in the chat. We got Owen in the chat. Let's talk about the Godzilla versus Kong trailer. You guys hyped for Godzilla versus Kong?
Mike, you might not want to be where you are on screen.
I'll drop down.
It might be the safe thing to do.
So what'd you guys think of the trailer? Are you hyped for the movie? Mike, are you looking forward to Godzilla versus Kong?
I have yet to see the last Godzilla film, to be honest with you. I loved the 2014 Godzilla. I thought that was a fantastic film. Kong Skull Island was decent. Wasn't that big a fan. I mean, it looks like the pitch in the new film with Godzilla as the bad guy, which
he's not. Don't worry, he's not.
It's all very deceptive marketing and stuff, which I hate that. I hate that. Yeah, I hate it.
The music was terrible as well.
The music was terrible. Yeah. And it looks like they're trying to make Godzilla the bad guy. Godzilla's hurting people, and we don't know why.
You're going to get another trailer. That's the Godzilla trailer. This is the Kong trailer.
Oh, okay. But will the Godzilla trailer have the real villain in it, though?
I don't know, because the real villain is in the trailer we got.
Just a flash, though.
Yeah.
Just a flash.
Who is it? Who is the real villain?
Godzilla?
Let's not spoil it.
I don't know.
It's not.
But I mean, the thing that I hate about it is, whoever the villain is, it's not going to be Godzilla and Kong fighting to the death. They're going to fight for 15 minutes, and then it's going to be, oh well, this is the bad guy that Godzilla's really after, and that's why he's not interested in Kong, and that's why Kong kicked his butt. So now the two of them are going to team up and kick this thing's butt. And it's like, I've seen the whole movie now.
I don't think that's fair, because you know what? You could say that about every fucking Friday the 13th and we'd still show up.
That's Friday the 13th, though. That's Friday the 13th. I mean,
see, that's why I think it comes down to, like, I grew up with Godzilla. It's close to my heart. Like, there's nothing in that trailer that didn't harken back to the old films I grew up with. So it's like, to me, the experience is really warm. And the difference is, it's not just nostalgia in this case, because these are also the films that actually actualize what I had going on in my head that was impossible in those late 60s, early 70s films in particular. Like, those films couldn't visually do what we can do now. And I'm over the moon.
What about the more recent Toho stuff, like Godzilla, Shin Godzilla, and Godzilla? What was it, New War or Final War or something like that?
Well, Final Wars is fun but stupid. But it's fun, but it's very stupid. Shin Godzilla was too smart for its own good, but it's not really rewatchable in my opinion. Like, it's a good film. It's a legitimately good film, but I don't know how often anyone's going to go back and watch boardroom scenes about government agencies fighting over the classification of Godzilla as a natural disaster or an animal control problem. It's clever. It's funny. It's very much the, Dr. Strangelove of today, but I don't know how many times in life I'm going to watch it. Although in the trailer for Godzilla versus Kong, there is a absolute homage to Shin Godzilla. So,
well, somebody, because I'd commented on it on social media, and somebody said it's a shame if you know the Godzilla Toho lore, because if you do, the trailer is just one big spoiler after another.
But how are you going to get around that? I mean, look, in the perfect scenario, they film scenes just for a trailer that aren't in the film, maybe like a 2-minute prequel almost, but in this kind of film, how do you not kind of give away the movie? It's a spectacle movie, but it's also a bigger than life film, and I'm glad these are getting made. You know, the last film really didn't justify a sequel of this size being made and what it earned, so I'm just glad we're getting it.
And I do love Godzilla particularly. I watched them as a kid. Now, granted, as a kid, all I cared about was Godzilla destroying stuff. So I mean, I loved Godzilla for that. I didn't read in any deeper into it than that. I mean, I was just a kid.
Yeah.
But I mean, I loved Godzilla movies.
Right.
I loved the young Godzilla movie too, which I'm sure that's like a huge sin among hardcore Godzilla
Son of
fans.
Godzilla?
Yeah.
Well, I think that movie is fine for what it is, but you got to go in knowing you're watching a kids movie.
Right.
And it's not the goofiest thing they did during that era either.
I'm trying to remember some of the other ones because I loved the first time Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla happened. I loved, all of them. Godzilla, Rodan, was it King Ghidorah, the three-headed one?
Mm-hmm.
I loved them all. It was just so cool. It didn't even dawn on me as a kid either. Like, those are just guys in suits and miniatures running around stomping on like cardboard buildings and stuff.
Exactly, but you see, today's kids can't do that. They can't switch off that switch the way we could because they've been spoiled against using their imagination on film. So they need these movies for a new generation of Godzilla films. And I'm not saying that it's not for you. That's a lame excuse. But I think these films are being made for a very specific audience, which is weird to see something of this budget being made for a very specific fan, right? I hope more people can enjoy it and get in the spirit of it, but realistically, not every film is going to be embraced by everyone. Yeah. I'd rather this than like when they tried to make Godzilla for everyone, we got the Broderick Godzilla. So
I forgot about that.
I'll take this every day of the week.
I forgot about that one.
Gibbs.
I'm critical of it, but I do want to watch it just because it's Godzilla versus Kong. What's up, Gibbs? And I hope for the best. What's up, Gibbs? How you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. Hey, question for you. What is the best old school Godzilla video game?
There's a fighting game for the GameCube. I can't think of what it's called, but I would go with that one. It's just like a one-on-one fighter.
Could you play Megalon?
Probably, yeah. I'm sure you could play them all.
Then you always lost.
Well, of course. If Kong was in there, maybe we'd have a different story, right?
I thoroughly enjoyed Kong Skull Island and Godzilla King of the Monsters. In fact, I actually wasn't going to watch King of the Monsters until Lauren recommended it as one of his favorite films of the year. So, I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I'll watch Kong versus Godzilla, but, considering who directed it, I don't have high hopes. I mean, this is the guy that ruined the Kick-Ass franchise. I'm sorry. I don't trust him.
This is Adam Wingard, right?
Oh, my bad. I was thinking of the other guy. No, Adam Wingard, he made Blair Witch, but he also made You're Next, which is very good. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Who were you thinking of, Stone? I'm trying to think. Who were you thinking of?
The guy that directed Cry Wolf.
Yeah,
that guy. Yeah, he's a hack. Yeah.
Jeff something or the other.
Being a hack will get you very
Jeff
far.
Winslow.
Wadlow.
Winslow, yeah.
Wadlow.
Okay, yeah.
What were your thoughts on the Godzilla versus Kong trailer, Jonathan?
Oh, I mean, I'm excited. I enjoyed Godzilla King of the Monsters like way more than I thought I would, and Kong Skull Island I thought was great.
I don't remember a thing about Kong Skull Island other than like Samuel L. Jackson being like, "Come on, Kong, come on," and then like he just gets squashed.
I think that's why I love it, right?
Yeah.
But like I hate Peter Jackson's like 05 King Kong's just a snooze fest to me. So
I forgot that one existed.
I'm not a huge fan of that either, and I should be.
Kong Skull Island was just so much fun. Like I wasn't expecting to like it at all. So.
To me,
the only thing that sucked about it was Brie Larson. But go ahead, Lauren.
I actually think she's good in that film.
Okay.
Look, all these people can be annoying in real life. Doesn't mean they're bad in everything. But the thing about Kong Skull Island and King of the Monsters in particular, although I like the first Godzilla film in this cycle as well, it's just not on the par of the other two, is that they really do feel like pulp adventures. You know, they feel like something ripped from 40s magazines and combined with the classic Toho mythology. And that's so where I live, you know. I like that they're fast paced. And by the way, I got to just say this. People, stop complaining that there's too many humans. They've always been this way. They're just being true to the material. There is more Godzilla in the 2014 film than there was in the 54 film. Period. Full stop.
I liked King of the Monsters too. I remember more about King of the Monsters than I do Skull Island, but I remember liking Skull Island. I just don't remember anything about it at this point.
It's worth revisiting.
I've got like a really nice steelbook of it somewhere. You mentioned Peter Jackson's King Kong, which Peter Jackson was so hardcore about that movie and tried to turn that into like this epic Oscar-winning thing that at one point and he was like editing the film himself too. Like at one point,
wife,
at one point he was so exhausted that he phoned in Bryan Singer to edit for him while he took a much needed respite. He was so out of it that he couldn't do it anymore. And he called in. I'm sure he probably wouldn't he probably wouldn't admit to this today, but his friend Bryan Singer. So we all know the Bryan Singer story, I'm sure. But a
lot different than the Mark Singer story, that's for sure.
so there's some Bryan Singer fingerprints on the Kong movie too, on the Peter Jackson King Kong movie too.
That movie's the biggest sin of the Jackson Kong is that it took a premise that's supposed to be heartwarming and big, but in the film never felt bloated. Like you watch the original, you can watch that whole thing and it feels like a half hour has passed and an hour and a half has passed. When you watch his version, you feel 3 hours and 12 minutes pass.
Mm.
That's
you know what?
And the ice skating scene, painfully obvious. It's like, let's build sympathy for the monster now because we didn't do it over the whole running time like we were supposed to. So let's have that cute scene in Central Park.
I would still watch the 3.5 hour Peter Jackson director's cut over the 76 King Kong with Jessica Lange and Jeff Bridges. But that's just me.
I'll watch the 76 before that.
Yeah, I actually like 76.
Okay. Oh.
Brian Trash is what about King Kong 76? Yeah. Jeff Bridges versus Kong. I mean, come on.
It's not a great film, but it still made me feel more than 05 did. That's for damn sure.
We've got Jay the Stingray here. What's up, Stingray?
What's going on?
How you doing, man?
Good. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, right on, man. You hyped for Godzilla versus Kong?
I don't know. I'm kind of worried about the whole WB HBO thing. I don't know.
What's got you worried about it?
Well, I mean, just considering what a travesty Wonder Woman was, even though I haven't seen it. It's what I've heard.
You missed your chance to watch it on HBO Max. It's gone now.
Is it really?
Yeah. You only get 31 days of it.
Darn it. Darn it.
So they've pulled it off, but then in 3 months they're going to bring it back when the Blu-ray comes out or something? Is that the plan?
I don't know. I just noticed that yesterday because it said last chance to watch, and it was disappearing at midnight last night. And when I clicked on the trailer for like the mashup of all the trailers of the movies coming out this year, it said that they'd be available for 31 days after release.
So if you wish that the movie would go away faster, does that work in Wonder Woman land?
I'd like to see the numbers on that, like how fast that dropped off after word of mouth got out.
It wasn't doing much at the box office, the real box office, but I mean, after week one, it was pretty steadily down from what I recall. But I mean, yeah, I did watch about, I don't know, 30 to 40 minutes of that movie, and my goodness,
it doesn't get better.
What were they thinking? What on earth were they thinking?
And the first Wonder Woman is decent.
The first
Good
Wonder Woman
film.
is a good movie. Like I don't know what happened with this one. I mean, it's just one bad idea after another.
It fell into line with all the other DC on films besides Wonder Woman.
They realized they made a mistake with the first one. Like, guys, that was way too good.
We let a good thing escape. We got to fix that.
Yeah, let's
not
fix
letting this happen again.
We took DC the DCEU forward 2 steps. Let's take it back 10. You know what I mean? It was just horrible, unbelievably bad CGI, and
literally unfinished.
It looked unfinished.
Yeah, no, it literally was. They pulled the plug when they realized they weren't going to get a proper theatrical release of the thing.
But that's like that's like saying, well, we don't care about
your
enjoyment of it. You know what I mean? It's like
you don't. You're not wrong.
At least make me think you do. I mean, good God.
Who's behind the DC franchise? With Kevin Feige's behind Marvel, and has done regardless of what you think of Marvel, he's done a brilliant job. There's cohesion. Who has Kevin Feige's job for the DC franchise? They are doing it.
I don't know if they have a single person who's behind it. I think it's more of a group.
They need someone.
It was Zack Snyder.
I was about to say, it was going to be Zack Snyder, is what it looked like it was going to shape.
Yeah, it was Zack Snyder, but then obviously life intervened, and they got cold feet and made a bunch of bad decisions, and now he's like running around doing crap for HBO Max.
When's this Snyder Cut coming out? Because if the Snyder Cut's supposed to be some revelation, maybe they'll go back to Zack Snyder running it.
I don't think they can, though.
It's 4 hours?
That's what I've read. 4 hours.
Listen. My girlfriend was like, "Do you want to watch Wonder Woman 84?" And I was like, why not? And she goes, "Holy crap, it's 2.5 hours long." And I went, "No, no. Unless your name is Christopher Nolan, I'm not watching a superhero movie that's over 2 hours. I'm sorry, I'm just not."
Yeah. They're talking about, I heard rumblings of like doing like a mini series kind of thing, breaking it up into hour segments.
I think it is being broken up.
Well, now I've heard they've backed off that. And it's going to be a movie now.
Who's going to sit down for 4 hours? You remember when The Irishman came out? And that was a decent film.
Good question.
People just.
That's why I haven't watched The Irishman.
Yeah, I want to see. I thought I want to see the Snyder Cut just to see what it could have been, but 4 hours. That's unbelievable.
The things that I think are wrong with the existing film are just not things I think can be fixed with a longer cut.
No.
It's flawed to begin with. I mean,
making that thing longer is not going to make it better. That's for sure.
I don't think so.
That's what she said.
Yeah,
I don't think she did. I think she'd say the opposite.
But
she has a very narrow cervix.
Are there any of those upcoming WB HBO Max movies that anybody's looking forward to?
Yes, the Mortal Kombat movie. I'm looking about that.
I'm looking forward to the Mortal Kombat movie too, but I mean, I'm very wary. I'm hopeful, but I'm very wary.
Yeah, but I mean, the stills that they released, other than the Jax character looking like Steve Harvey. It looks pretty promising.
Yeah, he looked just like Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey,
hilarious.
Metal arms. That's yeah.
I should have got Steve Harvey. That would have been great.
That's a better movie, right?
They should have got Steve Harvey.
Listen, player.
Oh my God. Oh, that would be so funny. Listen, Raiden, player.
Survey says.
Shang Tsung, survey says you're getting an ass beaten.
Boom.
Yeah. Any other those WB HBO Max movies you guys looking forward to?
I'm really happy that Conjuring piece of shit is going to go to the service, though.
I'm gonna watch
it. Might finally end that stuff.
I'm glad it's going to that because that's the only way I was probably going to see it. Right, so it'll be something to watch that weekend.
Is that series actually trying to have the worst titles they can? Like Annabelle Comes Home sounds like, I don't know, like an after-school special. And this one, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It.
I think they're getting caught off guard that they're having to make more. And they're like, Annabelle Comes Home. Write it.
Yeah. Or it's kind of like if you're doing anything vampire related and you bring Dracula into the mix, that's a red flag that you are bereft of ideas. If you're doing a series like The Conjuring and you take it to Amityville Land, you are completely out of ideas at that point. So I mean,
is that what this is?
It's I believe it's Amityville.
Well, I mean, the Warrens did investigate the Amityville deal.
So you knew it was going to go there eventually.
After it was pretty much laughed at.
I mean, they were on like television and stuff talking about it, right?
Yeah. I can't wait till we get Annabelle's European Vacation. That's what I'm looking for.
Cousin Eddie will be there.
Is Deadpool 3 is that something that's going to
R-rated from Disney? Yep.
But that's theatrical.
Okay.
Well, Matrix 4. I mean, I'm curious.
Yeah, that's the one I was.
So is everyone in that movie, by the way.
I don't think it has any chance of being good at all, but I am curious to see it.
I've never seen a movie like the original movie hurt more by its sequels than that movie.
That's great.
Those sequels are. I know a lot of people defend those sequels just based on how much they love the first film. They're indefensible in my.
I've wanted to go back and revisit them, man, but I just can't make myself do it.
That part 3 was just so like, oh my god.
I made a conscious.
They're both really bad.
Like the rave in the dungeon or in the cave. That's all I remember about that movie.
Has anybody seen the trailer or anybody seen Psycho Gorman?
That
looks really good.
I think my review will come out either tomorrow or the next day.
Is it positive or negative?
All I'll say about it is be wary of the hype. And that's something that I'm going to be talking about on this Thursday's Region Free is hyping a movie before it comes out. Is it good for it? Is it bad for it? Does it set unrealistic expectations? So,
this movie
because it's interesting. Because it's really interesting you say that because like everyone's been hyping it to me and I've held off because they keep saying things like, oh, it's like early Peter Jackson film meets Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and then the second half of that makes me go, I don't want to go anywhere near it.
It's far more the latter.
Ooh, then I really need to stay the hell away from it.
To me, it felt like far more the latter. I don't know. My review should be out pretty soon.
Yeah, I think I'm going to pass. Not on your review. I'll watch your review, but I will pass on the movie.
Let's see. Horrid Films is looking forward to Dune. Anybody hyped for Dune? I thought the trailer looked really good, but
yeah,
Denis Villeneuve.
Everyone looks so young in that trailer. I don't know.
He's got a great track record with me at least. So I love pretty much every movie he's ever made. So
yeah,
I agree, but. Everyone looks real young in that trailer. That's what scares me. It looks like a young adult adaptation of it.
Yeah.
That scares me.
That's unfortunate.
Any other of those WB HBO Max movies? Because there was a ton of them. I can't even remember.
I suppose I need to look at a list.
I'm thinking like I need to look that up. But I mean,
there might be something.
So many.
Space Jam. I'm looking forward to Space Jam.
Right. The new Suicide Squad. What's his name that did James Gunn?
James Gunn.
I think James Gunn could do a good Suicide Squad movie, I think.
It's a new Suicide Squad? Like
new Suicide Squad, yeah.
Like all new cast.
Not all new. Margot Robbie is back as what's her name? But Will Smith is not back as Deadshot. It's Idris Elba as Deadshot.
Oh, I like that choice.
What about Jared Leto?
I don't know if Jared Leto is back or not. He may be one of those that nobody's wanting to. Nope, he's in it. He's in it. Yep, he's in it.
He's definitely in the Snyder cut of Justice League.
Justice League, yeah.
Really? Joker's in the Snyder? What?
Yeah, they brought him back for like 2 weeks of reshoot.
Oh wow, I had no idea. Stallone is in the new Suicide Squad.
Really?
That's a mark of quality right there.
Michael Rooker's back. Jack Courtney's back. John Cena is playing Peacemaker. I don't even know.
Already talks of a spinoff for his character.
I don't even know who Peacemaker is, but Idris Elba is Bloodsport. I thought he was dead. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting their names confused, but he took over the Will Smith role from the first film. Pete Davidson is Blackguard. Don't know who that character
I'm
is.
out.
Not a Pete Davidson fan.
That was a pretty strong reaction. Did he like try and date a daughter or something? What's going on there?
Yeah, I just don't like him.
I don't know. James Gunn's got a good track record with this kind of movie, so I think he could do a good Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
I think DC are just impossible to work for.
I think that might be it. Yeah.
Because with that track record, you'd expect more than one film to be good. You know, with the money and resources they have, but I don't know.
I agree.
This is not a strong slate they have for the year.
No.
There's maybe 2 or 3 movies I'll watch.
Nico says Sicario is a modern classic. Anybody else got love for Sicario?
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah,
I like the sequel too.
yeah. Day of the Soldado.
I saw it. I don't remember that much about it. Maybe I think I only saw parts of it though. For some reason, I only saw parts of it. I just remember that part where he shoots that guy on the street. He puts his finger through the trigger. And he goes,
Yeah.
"Bum, bum, 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 bum." I tried that. It's not easy.
No.
But I really like the first movie. The first one's really good. Yes, Frank Stallone. When I said Stallone, whenever I say Stallone, I mean Frank Stallone.
As you do.
You know. So, Gibbs, have you seen any good movies lately, man?
Finally, well, I saw Wonder Woman, so no on that one.
That's a no.
Yeah, that was. I went into it. You know, I'm not a critic guy, and I was hell bent on enjoying it, and yeah, it's garbage. It's absolute garbage. I saw Rambo: Last Blood finally, and
Your thoughts on it?
Well, it's funny. Stay with me for a second. I remember when I saw Jason Lives again in my teens, and I said, Jason Voorhees, and he was in the woods and had the Bowie knife and the belt. I said, Jason Voorhees has become Rambo. Well, spoiler alert, at the end of that movie, Rambo became Jason Voorhees. So it was kind of a full circle thing.
What?
Very cool. I enjoyed it.
I've not seen it. I know Lauren is actually going to be interviewing the author of the
First Blood.
First Blood,
and the novelizations of the second and third film. Though he did that just because he didn't want someone else to touch it. Yeah, David Morrell will be on my channel on Friday. 8
and
p.m.
he's not a fan of the last Rambo film.
I could see that.
Just a warning, we're going to be covering his whole literary career, so I'm not going to spend the whole hour with him just talking Rambo.
Right.
I want to level set everyone. He does not mind talking Rambo, but he's had, he has 30 million copies of his books in print.
Yeah.
30 different languages. He won Stoker Awards for 3 times for horror projects. The guy has a lot to talk about besides Rambo, and I'm going to let him do it. We'll talk Rambo, but it's not going to be an hour of Rambo.
Thank you, PlayStation 9. I appreciate it, man. Have a good night and take care, man.
I was going to say, David Morrell, he really loved the fourth Rambo. He said the fourth Rambo was his favorite of all of them. And then he turned around on Last Blood and said, no, this is garbage. So
we will see. We'll get it right out of his mouth. So,
and I mean, if he's a Stoker Award winner, he's got some horror in his UVer, right?
Going back to 72. Yep.
Okay.
He was in a lot of those Carl Wagner Year's Best Horror anthologies with short stories. He was selling stories to a lot of the same men's magazines that King was at the beginning of his career. So they had like Gallery magazine and all those people. Playboy had editions of his work, which I know sounds funny to everyone, but was really important to the horror fiction scene at that time.
For a long time, Playboy was a very respectable publisher of short stories and fiction and stuff. So, I mean, yeah.
Absolutely. So, I mean, I don't want to hijack the thread, but I'm very excited. Also, at the end of the month, I have Ramsey Campbell. So that's the end of February. So that's huge too. That's Britain's Stephen King, basically.
Yeah. I've heard of him.
So when people said I'd buy Playboy for the article, it was like they were serious.
Well, that was,
Well, did you know the Stephen King short story The Raft that was eventually adapted for Creepshow 2 originally appeared in Playboy.
That's cool.
So yeah, I mean, it's easy, and the reason there is very simple. They could pay for the best stories. They had the money to do it at the time. So they were paying 10 cents a word when 3 cents a word was like considered great pay.
I think Bradbury appeared in Playboy quite a bit too. So I mean, there were a lot of really respectable authors that got their stuff published in Playboy. A lot of them before they became famous. So I mean, it was
Absolutely.
Nico says Playboy published some great fiction. No joke. That's true. That's true. The movie Duel, Gabe says, came from a short story that appeared in Playboy. That's cool. I didn't know that.
So did The Fly. The Fly also was based on a short story by George Langland, I believe. That got published in Playboy. But anyway, go ahead, Lauren. Sorry.
This is the Playboy edition of the first Shadows anthology from Charles L. Grant. This anthology basically was the launch pad for Stephen King, Ramsey Campbell, Robert Bloch. I mean, it's ridiculous. When you look at the lineup of who was working, Dennis Etchison, of course, who we better know if we're in this audience. But that was Playboy. So I mean, where's the logo? There, way up at the top. Anyway. So yeah, I mean, it was a real thing. It's weird to think that there was a time when softcore pornography was helping the literary sphere.
If only I could come back and help it now,
Jesus Christ, we'd be in better shape.
But Gibbs, man, it's been a while since I've had you on any kind of stream. We've been trying to talk you into coming back onto Region Free. But what's been going on in your world, man? How's everything?
I'm excited. Me and Stone fell in love, so that's pretty cool. So I'm happy about Stone and
with each other.
Yes. That's what
okay.
I mean.
That's who Stone was.
Happy. As long as you're happy.
No, I mean, it's been kind of an eventful year. At the beginning of the year, my wife got diagnosed with COVID.
Oof.
And she had a pretty rough time, but nothing major. She didn't have to go to the hospital. And then when I went, I got tested so I could go back to work, and I had COVID the next week. So, but I didn't have any symptoms. So that was fun. I got a 2-week vacation at the beginning of the year.
So no symptoms, no sickness, no nothing.
No, just maybe one day I had a headache and. Well, headache, fatigue. I mean, that's my way of life, So, but no, nothing. So
you must have good vitamin D levels, I guess.
Yeah. It's because I'm so young and healthy. That's what it is. But I watched. I've been trying to watch more things. I really want to watch Empty Man. You guys, is that what it's called? Empty Man?
Yeah,
is that
the Empty
movie
Man.
you guys been talking about?
Yeah.
So good.
I've got that on slate to watch. And has anybody seen WandaVision?
Yeah.
Not yet.
It's good. It's different.
Yeah,
a lot different.
I really like it. I mean, it's got me hooked. It's trippy. It's out there. I recommend giving it a shot. It's different, and you can't tell exactly where they're going with it. And I don't watch a lot of those streaming series. But by the way, Godzilla Destroy All Monsters. That's the name of the game. For GameCube. So
GameCube. Okay.
But now I've been playing games and been buying more games. And I'm going to shoot a pickups video when I have a couple more things come in.
We're talking retro games, right?
Yeah, definitely. We're talking late 80s, early 90s stuff mostly. So,
Lauren has started a movement where you rip up slipcases. I heard you bought a brand new PlayStation and blew it up That's your form of protest, right?
Brand new what?
A brand new PlayStation 5, and you blew it up.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. No, I my heart sinks when I see you guys do that. No. The collector in me can't let that happen. So,
were you lucky enough to get your hands on a new gen console?
No, I'm not. You know, I'm not interested. I'm sure eventually my son will get something, but no, I stick to the old stuff. So so no, I haven't even tried. But I was just talking about me being streaming. I've been in talks with one of the Region 3 guys about being on, but I got bumped last week, and I haven't heard anything from that guy. But so I do have a stream coming up at some point, I think.
Okay. All right. Very cool. Very cool. Jonathan, you picked up 15 Blu-rays today?
That's a sickness. A beautiful, beautiful sickness.
What are we talking about, Jonathan? You're muted. You've muted yourself.
It's not me.
That's not you? Oh, okay. I was going to congratulate you on picking up 15 Blu-rays today, but if it's not you, it's not you, I guess. Now there is a movie that I am looking forward to that's coming out very, very soon. It's called Willy's Wonderland, and it stars Nicolas Cage. And it looks like a new masterpiece. Let's all watch the trailer together, because I think this is going to be one of those a defining film. Let me pull up just type in W and it goes straight to Willy's Wonderland trailer on YouTube. That's how powerful this is. Let's see. Let's find a good one here. All right, here we go. And we'll share this so everybody can see it. All right, Willy's Wonderland trailer. Bada bing, bada boom. Here we go. I've only got 2 words for that: hell and yeah.
Has Nicolas Cage got money troubles?
Yes.
Nicolas Cage. I think Nicolas Cage is just at the point where he does. I think he does pretty much everything. I don't know what his demands are. I mean, he can't be getting paid too much for some of these smaller movies, but I mean, I think he just says yes to just about everything.
So how is that not being sued by the Five Nights at Freddy's guys?
I saw. Yeah, I thought exactly the same thing.
I was thinking. I was thinking that freaking what's that pizza chain?
Showbiz or Chuck E. Cheese?
Chuck E. Cheese would be lining up to sue too. Hey, Mr. McNuggets, watching. What's up, man? He says it's Five Nights at Freddy's the movie.
Yeah.
Let Nick out of the cage. It looks fun to me. I definitely want to watch that. Oh, Duel is on Blu-ray for $10 on Amazon. I don't think I knew that. Oh, thank you for the intel, Gabe. Big Track Rock's on board with the Willy Wonderland. Sounds good to me. Who'd we lose? Oh, we lost Mike. Either money troubles or he's being held hostage by nefarious people. 100 grand in free food. That's all it takes. But hey, when you say yes to everything, every now and again you get a Mandy. A Mandy happens, or maybe Willy's Wonderland will be a great one too. I don't know. We'll see.
Or a Ghost Rider,
or a Vampire's Kiss,
or Left Behind.
Wicker Man. Anything.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Not the bees. Not the bees.
But I'm definitely looking forward to that one. Cannot wait for that one. Anything else? Anything on y'all's minds you want to talk about? Any confessions you'd like for me to hear and absolve you of? All right, Gibbs, you're good. I just went ahead and cleared you.
On an earlier topic you guys were talking about, I may be the only person that likes the Ferris Bueller Godzilla movie. So, I mean, as far as just a mindless popcorn flick, I've never had a big problem with it.
I don't know if I don't know if I've seen the entire thing. I know I've seen bits and pieces because it used to come on like Cinemax or HBO or one of my movie channels like all the time.
Right.
So
you know, what's his name? The director did Independence Day.
Yeah, Emmerich, Roland
Emmerich. Yeah, he was hot then, and I guess that movie kind of cooled him off. But,
yeah, we've not heard from Roland Emmerich since.
No, that kind of killed him. That was his League of Extraordinary Gentlemen moment, you know.
Did anybody here seriously see Independence Day Resurgence?
No.
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
I didn't think it was
I have,
awful.
I've never watched it.
I didn't think it was god awful, but
Wasn't great.
Did Emmerich
it
direct
wasn't
that one?
great. Yeah,
He did? Oh.
yeah.
Okay.
He and producer Dean Bevel, they hooked back up for Resurgence, and now they're saying, well, if there's a third one, it'll be direct to video. So
Didn't he do 2012 in 2012?
Yep, he did.
So you can't get rid of
2012.
everyone.
They also did White House Down. Remember that?
Vaguely.
That's not a horrible Die Hard in a Blank film though. It's okay.
I don't know if it's more watchable than Olympus Has Fallen, but
They're all the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
I get those two mixed
you
up.
think so?
I do too.
Oh, really?
I think those were about all the same.
Yeah.
You know, the most bizarre, two similar movies to come out literally like the same week or within weeks of each other. Paul Blart Mall Cop, and then Observe and Report with Seth Rogen. So there were two Mall Cop movies in the same month? Like, what's the possibilities of
Dante's
that?
Peak.
Yeah.
Volcano. I prefer Dante's Peak.
Everyone prefers Dante's Peak.
I think we all prefer Dante's Peak.
I saw Volcano in the theater when it first came out. So
I saw both of them in the theater. I just like people dying by lava, I think.
that's volcano movies. That's don't see a lot of those. Volcano exploitation.
Bring those back. Let's bring back big asteroid movies.
Gladiator
Yes.
movies.
Yes, the asteroid movies. Those were a thing.
Combine them all.
Hey,
There you go.
that sounds good. And let Michael Bay direct it.
Oh.
Let's remake Meteor with Sean Connery.
It's funny how there's how does that happen? You have two volcano movies at the same time. You have two Meteor movies at the same time. What was that? Like 1987, they were going to make 1986. 3 different movies were going to come out called April Fool's Day. 3 different slasher movies were going to come out called April Fool's Day. So it's kind of odd how that. I don't know.
And don't forget all the underwater releases of 1989: The Abyss, Leviathan,
Right.
Deep Star 6, Lords of the Deep. Yeah. We need more underwater movies.
No, not after Underwater. We don't.
Not after Underwater. Yeah, never mind.
It's not that bad.
You don't keep getting punched by your spouse and keep getting sympathy. So no more underwater films.
Don't forget all the movies in the 80s where the parent and the kid would change bodies with each
Body
other.
swaps.
Body swap movies.
Vice versa.
Yes. Yes.
Alabama Punk mentions how in 1996 there were 2 or 3 different tornado movies. That's true. There were tornado movies.
Twister.
I miss natural disaster movies. They were fun.
They were kind of fun. Yeah.
Now we're living. We're living these movies
exactly.
every day now.
So here's something that I've been thinking about. I think it's time after I would never have wanted to see this until now. I think it's time for another Jaws movie or a Jaws reboot. Anybody else?
It's
Anybody?
happening.
I know you're joking.
Hey, Lauren.
I just want to see Big Shark.
It's been an active development for the last 7 years. Universal want it to happen, so eventually it's going to sneak out.
Hey, Lauren. Should I tell him my Jaws pitch?
Go for it.
Go for it.
Stone. Let me preface it by saying Stone and I have exchanged Jaws pitches.
I love it. Let's go.
Go
All
ahead.
right.
Stone.
Well, my pitch is essentially this. Okay. Now, I want a Jaws movie where there's no Brodies. I don't even want Brody to be mentioned.
Okay.
But the idea I have is for the movie just be called Jaws, no number, and come out in the summer of 2025. It would have a role for Richard Dreyfuss, which if I was going to write it, I would write it as a retirement role. I'm a huge Dreyfuss fan. And I think he would definitely consider doing it. I mean, if he can do the Poseidon remake and then do the Piranha remake where he sings Show Me the Way to Go Home in the opening scene, I don't think he would have a problem doing it. Now, the story, well, the difference between my Jaws and the 4 previous Jaws, the shark wins. The shark wins. And what I mean by that is imagine the oceans are completely dead aside from the top of the food chain, which are sharks. And of course, the oceans are dead because of human activity, human waste, whatnot. So the sharks are pissed. The sharks are pissed. They want real revenge now. So shark attacks happen all over the world. Like at all the beaches, shark attack everywhere. And Richard Dreyfuss has to come in and convince the government that killing the shark is not going to solve, or attempting to kill the shark is almost impossible. The way it is, we need to rebuild the oceans and all that. And the reason why I thought of this idea was I thought, you know what, Peter Benchley, years after he wrote the book, was actually very ashamed of how his book and subsequently the movie painted the shark as an animal. And he actually wrote several books. I read one of them where he talks about the sharks and their habitat, their endangered status and everything, and how we need to build a relationship with them somehow. We have to live with each other in some way. So the idea is that the world is about to collapse because sharks are eating everybody. And at the end, they have to figure out a way to live with the shark. But yeah, the difference is the shark wins.
Cool.
In 3D.
No, hell no. See, okay, can I say real quick? I know everybody likes to say Jaws: The Revenge. It's one of the worst movies ever made. Look, I will watch Jaws: The Revenge over Jaws 3D for 3 reasons. First of all, I hate 3D, and the 3D in Jaws 3 sucks. Second, the Bahamas photography is nice. And third, if you've seen the documentary Blackfish about how Florida SeaWorld horribly treated their animals, including the killer whales, you will never want to see Jaws 3D ever again. At least with Revenge, at least it followed the first 2 films somehow. At least it was a direct sequel. Jaws 3D was just like, what the hell is this? When the first time I saw it, that stupid logo, what they did to the Universal logo when they turned it over to this other film company to make it, I just thought it was total garbage. And how could you waste Louis Gossett Jr. like that after winning an Oscar? I have no idea. But no, I actually prefer Revenge over 3. Just slightly, but I do.
Did you say you've got a Jaws pitch?
Yeah, I can make it short because no one likes my pitch. But so my concept was that as much as I hate ignoring sequels, in the case of Jaws, since the 2 films that are 3 and 4 contradict each other so primarily, there's not a worry about it. So my film would be what you want to do is you want to tell an old man Brody story. You ignore the 3rd and 4th film suggesting he's dead, and basically he lives back in New York City. And his wife is dead. You know, he's alone, and he gets drawn back for legal reasons to the property on Amityville Island. And it's basically a ghost town. The town has been destroyed, like most boardwalk towns in America, to be honest with you. and it's really about him coming to grips with his life, and he's the collapse of his life, and how his kids don't talk to him. He kind of was disgraced after the whole Jaws events, and the shark becomes more of a metaphor than anything. And eventually, he goes out onto the water to go chase down his shark, even though the shark is probably imaginary at this point. I'd make it very much a psychological Moby Dick story. And here's the thing: if he'd do it, I would get Clint Eastwood for Brody.
Nice. Get off my shore.
You guys are picking actors that may or may not be alive in like 6 months.
Well, the good news is my film will never happen, so it doesn't matter.
Well, I've got a pitch.
Oh, see, good. I've actually got one too. But go ahead, Stingray.
How about it's set in China,
Okay.
and all the sharks are pissed off that they keep cutting their fins off and making soup out of them.
Okay. Hey. That revenge. That's a good revenge movie. I like that. It'd be like Orca, but with a shark.
Exactly.
And at the end, the main guy who's cutting the fins off, the shark just bites off both his arms and leaves him to. There you go. Now you know what it feels like.
We're given. Oh shoot! I can't. The asylum. Too many ideas.
Giving them to me. Yeah, they better throw some money at us. Here's my pitch. Classic Jaws opening. You're underwater. You hear the beginning of that awesome John Williams score, but then the camera moves up. You're not in the ocean. You're in like just a river, and there's kids fishing off of the river. One of the kids goes into the water. It's waist deep. Blah blah blah. Bam! He's ripped in half. The shark is in a river. Okay. All right. So it's like the story that Jaws was based on that really happened.
The Matawan River.
Exactly.
I very well know it. I've been in that river.
Exactly. So that shark is eventually taken care of because that was just a baby shark. The mama shark went into that water to give birth. The mama shark's out there too. The mama shark's a big girl. So there you go. That's my Jaws pitch.
DJ Donnelly asks how the shark got to the river. Well, in real life, it simply swam up the coast.
Yeah.
That happened for real.
Bull sharks, they have some sort of a salt. They can hold salt in their body, so they don't need salt water all the time. Mm-hmm. They actually got into the Great Lakes at one time, like during a big flood or something, and they got trapped in there. Yeah. And then I think they eventually died off because they're ran out of salt.
Limited population.
Yeah, bull sharks can survive in fresh water, and bull sharks are vicious. So I mean,
that's like the number one shark for biting people, isn't it?
Right up there, I would say.
There's a great book on the real life event called 12 Days of Terror, which definitely it's a great read. It's amazing.
Gabe says we need a Jaws prequel with Quint on the USS Indianapolis. That was the original idea for Jaws 2. Was the Quint story of the Indianapolis sinking and
that sounds cool.
Yeah, and then the producers are like, well, no, let's just
Man, the way he tells that story, you just feel like you're there. You just imagine you're in open water in darkness. Oh man, that's the most terrifying thing.
That would be really so. You wouldn't see it coming, or you just hear your buddy start screaming, thrashing, and then be dragged away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I always wondered what is Quint's accent in Jaws, because it sounds
Irish longshoreman.
There's elements of English, Irish, American. It's all over the place.
It's a Boston longshoreman and Irish accent, yeah.
And it may have slipped a little bit depending on how much hoochie Robert Shaw had.
Definitely. So. But who on the set was going to correct him though? Because he probably would have taken your teeth out.
Yeah. I'm sure Shaw was like, Spielberg, I want to tell this story about the USS Indianapolis. She was, yes, sir. Yes, sir. You do that. Yeah,
well, I mean, they were rolling and just no one wanted to stop. So as many times as he needed to do it, go for it. Basically wrote it himself. No one cared. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's great. We need more actors like that. Actors who just can take a hold of something and just steer it.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
They're not American. I can tell you that much.
Yeah.
There were basically Shaw picked on Richard Dreyfuss the whole time they were making the movie. But what was funny was there's an interview with Dreyfuss. You can find it on YouTube where they actually bring out Robert Shaw's daughter. And like Richard Dreyfuss is so overwhelmed, he just breaks into tears and he starts talking about working with Robert Shaw and how great Robert Shaw was. It's really cool. It's on YouTube. Check it out. It's a very good video. But you know, even though Shaw was picking on him the whole time, he still had an enormous amount of respect for him. So cool stuff.
Have you guys heard Michael Caine's? I think I might have mentioned this before. Michael Caine's comment about Jaws the Revenge, where he says, "I've never seen Jaws the Revenge, but I've seen the house that it paid for, and it's wonderful."
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to throw something out about Richard Dreyfuss because, I mean, look, I'm such a huge fan of the guy, but, you know, ever since he made Jaws, like other actors that he has worked with, you know, always tries to talk to him about Jaws. You know, they always try to get him to talk about that movie. And there's two movies in particular where if you watch them and you listen carefully, there are a couple of Jaws references. And like in Stakeout, Emilio Estevez, his partner, asked him, you know, movie quotes. He hits him with movie quotes. And he says, well, this is when not a boating accident. Richard Dreyfuss just looks up for a minute. He's like, I don't know. Now, was he lying because he didn't want to submit to Emilio's improvisation, or did he really just forget? The other time, which I adore, it's hilarious. And What About Bob with Bill Murray, when he's trying to follow Richard Dreyfuss to the island that he's having his vacation on and trying to figure out where he is. And he's talking to him on the phone. He's like, "Oh, I know where you are. You're at Martha's Vineyard, right?" And Dreyfuss just like stares. He just doesn't have any reaction. You know, he just doesn't. I think it's because he just doesn't want to submit to the improvisation. He doesn't want to acknowledge it. That's what I think, anyway.
Mr. McNugget, Adam says, I want to make a movie about trying to get Jamie Lee Curtis's attention on Twitter. I tweeted at her to tell her I ate Activia and pooped myself at work. How could she not respond to that? Horrible. Tatted White Boy 420. You never got your replacement discs for what, the Friday set?
I just got mine Saturday, and they've already shipped out another set. Yeah.
Oh wow. You requested to get a new one. Well, you'll both of them. You'll probably get two sets then. I don't know.
Would you send those my way, player?
That's strange. I got the replacement disc for the Vinegar Syndrome Beastmaster released yesterday, so those came out pretty quick.
Is there any word on Tanya Roberts? Is she making progress?
She's gone. She passed away.
Oh, she's joking? I didn't see anything.
She passed. Then they said, wait, no, she's not. And then a couple of days after that, she passed.
I didn't see the update. I just, oh my God, I had no idea.
Her own agent announced her dead, and then it was like, no, she's not dead. So they had to announce that she hadn't died, and then literally like 2 days later, she really died, unfortunately. So it's crazy.
Hey, Piz, did you get the Blu-ray from Vinegar Syndrome for Fade to Black by chance?
Yes, I did. As a matter of fact, I watched it last night. I've been going through the extras today.
Oh,
and it's the first time I've seen the movie in many, many years, and I'd forgotten just how good Dennis Christopher is in that movie.
He's terrific.
So good in that movie. There's the scene where like he just where he hits the point of no return and he pleasures himself. That scene is so powerful, and he's not saying a word. He's just pretending like he's pleasuring himself, but he's so good. I don't know. He's so intense in that movie. So good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But that out soon too.
Yeah, I was going to say those extras on that Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray, 3 commentaries and 5 interviews. They really worked overtime on that, and I just applaud them. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've made it through the Dennis Christopher interview and the Erwin Yablans interview. So still got a
good.
things in the Jaws novel or book that should have been in the movie. The Jaws the movie is better than the book, in my opinion.
Yes.
The book is, I like the book, but the book is, I don't know. Should they have thrown the whole mafia thing in the movie? No, I think that might have disrupted the flow of the film to talk about, the mafia angle that was in the book, and the mayor of the town having mafia ties and whatever. I think that would disrupt the flow of that film. I think Jaws is a perfect film, I think.
I also think it was a wise choice to dump the Richard Dreyfuss. In the book, what's his name? What is Richard Dreyfuss? Hooper. He has an affair with Brody's wife. They have sex. Yeah.
That definitely did not need to make it into the movie. Definitely did not. No.
Oh yeah. Would you want to see a sex scene with Richard Dreyfuss and Lorraine Gary?
The whole thing with her in the book is that she hates living on the island, and she's a city girl, and she feels unfulfilled, and you know what I mean. She feels like the sheriff's not taking enough good care of her. So, it's just, there's a lot of needless stuff in that that you would have in the book, like backstory stuff, but the movie didn't need it. And Jaws dies in the book. It's very anticlimactic the way he dies in the book. Very anticlimactic. Piz, would you call the Jaws book a foam opera? Very nice, Nico. Very nice. I would. Yes, a foam opera. Yes. Anything else on your all's minds you want to talk about?
Apparently, Target has dropped a coconut milk brand over allegations it has ties to forced monkey labor.
Come again?
Forced monkey labor. I don't know what that is.
Okay, I'm more interested to see how this milk is produced now.
That's an interesting one.
My team of monkeys, they get all the coconuts.
See, this is how Planet of the Apes starts right here. First, they're making coconut milk.
Then they're toting guns.
Mm-hmm. 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 Okay.
I remember when. Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
I was going to remember when it was reported on Twitter a while ago that there was this article about basically monkeys have become huge movie fans because they. Yeah, I actually read this. They like to get together in groups and watch movies, and I retweeted and said, "Oh, they're probably watching the Planet of the Apes movies."
Okay.
They probably are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very safe assumption. They're plotting against us.
Like that guy. That guy's cool right there.
James Franco.
Oh man.
So they just like watch movies? How does that work?
See, that's the thing. I don't remember the exact, what it said. It just the title said, monkeys enjoy watching movies in groups.
I bet the monkeys like the slipcases too.
Probably do.
Yeah, they probably do.
To criticize a movie, they just throw poop at it. That's how they know if it's a bad movie.
Well, to be fair, is that any different than most of YouTube?
There you go. What else is on y'all's minds? What I want to know is, RetroCack, are you going to be appearing on this Thursday's episode of Region Free?
No, don't believe I will be.
Well,
I would like to come back at some point, or maybe do a segment, doing kind of like my retro game corner. But you guys are rocking and rolling without me, and I just don't want to hold you guys up.
I think we may need a retro gaming corner video sometime soon, Gibbs.
I think we do.
So
that's something I would like to do. So I'll try to put something together.
Okay, here's a topic. top 5 retro games to play while you're in isolation. No, okay. You had COVID. What were your favorite? Oh, but you didn't have symptoms, so you weren't really sick. I was going to say, what's your top 5 COVID time killer games? But top 5 isolation or quarantine retro games.
Pandemic picks.
The pandemic picks. I love it.
Or just
The pandemic picks.
Or just a prose poem about ghosts and goblins. That'll work too.
Now, that would be interesting. That would be interesting.
Ghouls and ghosts, maybe, not ghosts and goblins. Well, that's a lot of pressure, but thanks.
I'm just saying, we don't have anybody to. I'm not even a gamer myself, but I want you to come on and talk about video games, Gibbs. Seriously.
Yeah.
I want to see
Ryan
your.
does a good job. He brings it up.
I want to see your whole collection, man. I only get to see little snippets here and there. I know it's massive.
It's ridiculous, you know. I mean, it's not the biggest one you'll ever see. That's what she said, but it's ridiculous.
Oh wow!
Oh wow! Is that
the orange zapper?
Is that the Nintendo?
That's the Nintendo. I picked that up recently.
Okay, in box and everything. Wow.
Is that
nice?
Was that pretty expensive?
No, I got it at a garage sale. I mean,
Awesome.
that stuff kind of still shows up sometimes at garage sales.
I had the gray zapper.
I did too. That was the one you had to buy separate, right?
No, it came with
It originally.
Not,
The original zapper was gray, and then they changed it to orange. The one that came, the first one that came with the system was gray.
Is there a couple suicide by cops that happened or something?
I guess so. I guess after the LJN and those water guns, that fiasco, I guess.
Isn't that so funny?
Go
Like
orange.
when I was a kid, like you could our toy guns look like real guns.
That's true.
100%.
Oh yeah.
You know? And now they've got a little orange tip, but you can just take the tip off, right?
Yeah.
See, I don't think they're doing
Or
that
you can
anymore.
paint a real gun with an orange tip.
There you go. That's
the
even
thing
better
is-
idea.
From the 1950s to the 1970s, probably 80s, kids were not getting shot by cops, regardless of what color the guns were. It just wasn't happening.
My favorite were those they were like revolvers, like a single action revolver, and you put that paper in it,
Yep.
and it would snap every time you pulled the trigger.
Cap guns, baby.
Look,
Cap
we
guns.
got Gibbs has got both of them. He's packing double.
Oh wow.
There you go. Before and after.
Yeah. Oh man.
I dug this out the other day. This is like physical media related.
What we got there? Ah, cool.
And I used to send these out to like advertise new games.
Ah, sweet.
It's
Donkey
the
Kong?
one I had when I was a kid. Yeah.
What about Gibbs? Have you got the Power Glove?
No, I once saw that at a pawn shop for like $5, and I don't know what I was thinking, not picking that up. No, I don't have the Power Glove.
I had a Power Glove for a while. I got it in box at a garage sale for $1.
Oh wow.
Wouldn't it
Yeah.
be all like
It was
dry rotted
years
now?
ago. No, it worked.
Really?
I sold like everything off like in one big lump sum. They went with it.
I was going to try to find something. Hold on. Talk amongst yourselves.
I had a question, but then I completely lost it. It was
sorry.
video game. There's a new. Did anybody play There's a new Resident Evil beta out. Did anybody play that? No.
I didn't realize it was
That's where you need Raho.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I think it was
That's his
Adam.
jam.
It was Mr. McNugget mentioned that to me on Twitter, and then I
Yes,
completely
oh, yeah,
forgot
he's
about it.
hardcore.
Yeah.
I finally got a Switch. Any of you guys in the comments have any recommendations for me?
Oh, good Switch games. Yeah. Now Rahu would definitely be handy there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Do you
Rahu.
like old school platformers?
I do.
Do you remember the Wonder Boy games?
I don't think so.
Okay, there's a game called Wonder Boy Returns Remix. It's a digital game and it's very cheap. I'd recommend it.
Cool. I will look it up.
Of course, I'm biased. Wonder Boy is my favorite game of all time. But it's pretty sweet.
Sean McManus says that the Resident Evil 8 demo looks great. Cool. Is it? Did they go back to third person or is it first person?
I would imagine it's third. I know people hated that first person game.
Killer Cutie 07. Yeah, the beta is only for PlayStation. Only for PlayStation. Those console exclusives, baby. You gotta love them.
Is it free to download the beta?
The beta is free to download. Yeah,
Well,
it
I'm gonna check
was.
that out then.
I don't know if it's still available, but it was.
Is it on the 4 or only on the 5?
I think it's on both.
Okay, cool.
First person sequel to Part 7. Okay, cool. I like the first person better than I like the third person.
That game scared the crap out of me, man. I can't.
Biohazard?
Playing it.
Was that Biohazard?
It's just I was like, I can't handle it. It's too stressful.
Did you do the VR or just the regular?
Just the regular.
Okay.
I haven't done VR yet. I'd like to one day.
Yeah.
So I can be one of these idiots that like walks into the wall or something or breaks my TV. Got the thing on. Throw my remote at the TV or my controller at the TV.
Dude says, I once had a cop pull his car up on my friend's lawn after we pointed fake guns at him. We had removed the orange stopper and he thought they were real. Wow. Killer Cutie says the DLC is Nightmare Fuel, I guess, for Biohazard. I didn't get any of the DLC for that one.
Have there been any more updates with the Friday the 13th game, or is that still kind of in limbo?
It's dead.
It's dead.
You can't even play it anymore.
Well,
you can play it.
You can play it. They've completely abandoned it. They're not going to do any more updates or anything like that. So it's.
I figured they'll probably shut the servers down soon.
Well, they did shut the servers down.
Yeah, in like November. It's peer-to-peer now.
It's all peer-to-peer now.
Gotcha.
So if the host quits, the whole game ends. If you know what I mean, it's back to that kind of thing. But there is still, I think, a healthy community of people playing it. So I mean, there are still people playing it, but yeah, whatever. What about the Nintendo little robot guy? Did you ever get that, Gibbs?
I had it. I mean, when I got my Nintendo, it was the full set with Rob and the gun. But I left it at my old house because my nephews and nieces would play with it. It was just in like a bucket of toys, and I never thought about it. And then the house burnt down, and so I lost my Rob. But no, I had it. I had it back in the day, but no more.
Robbie the robot.
Yep. Rest in peace. Robotic operating.
Could you get him to work? Did he work for you?
Gosh, yeah, it worked, but it sucked. All the gyros, it pretty much was tops that you would put in a little machine, and they would spin.
Yeah.
And then it would pick them up and drop them on the button, on the A or B button to make the. It sucked. It was not. No one probably played it more than one time. They just hold the second controller and do it that way, much easier.
Yeah. Or they get the turbo controller.
Well, I mean, all you had to do is hold the button down because all the gyros that the gyromite had would just push the button.
Yeah. Well, we've got a real gaming noob in here now. Somebody named Orc. He's a real noob.
He's very ungosu.
Very ungosu. Yeah. Hey, Aaron, how you doing, man? Lauren, what's on your mind, man?
So when I play solitaire, I usually just try and play stack on the left because the right tends to be heavier. So you have to open up spots. That's my only gaming I can give you.
You played on the PS5?
I've been playing it while you guys were talking about real video games right now.
Sorry, Lauren.
Nah, that's cool. World doesn't revolve around me.
But
I've only beat two games of my life. I've only beat 2 games of my life: Wolfenstein 3D and Lemmings.
Okay,
that's the extent of my video game experience.
That's 2 more than I have.
Well, I loved Wolfenstein back in the day.
Yeah.
It all kind of went hand in hand for me, like music, games, movies.
Right.
It was like the trifecta.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. What's on your mic down there? What's on your mind down there, Mike?
So not much really. I'm just I'm getting tired now. I keep on yawning.
It's like what, 3 o'clock in the morning over there?
Yeah, it's 3 o'clock. So I'm just getting a bit tired now. I'm not really. I used to be a gamer, but not anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've mentioned it. I think we mentioned this on a previous stream. The games are just too long now. You know, you've got to put so much effort into some of these games, like hundreds of hours, and I haven't got time for that. You know, I'd much rather just watch a film instead.
I hear you.
Definitely time consuming.
Yeah,
That's true.
I like the old quick hitter games.
There was a meme I posted the other day. I tagged a couple of the guys that used to be on Region Free. It was when I was 10, looking at all the games I can't afford. Now it's when I'm 40, looking at all the games that I don't have time to play.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Oh man. Well, why don't we call it a night, guys? And we'll do it again next month. And be sure to tune in this Thursday, everybody, for Region Free. Region Free is back this Thursday. So we'll have a fun show this Thursday. Gibbs may or may not be there. I don't know. You'll have to tune in to find out.
See if you guys can pony up the money.
At least a very little bit, he will be.
Okay. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Let's see. Mike, I understand you've recently started a YouTube channel. Is that right?
I have, yeah. So if you just go to Mike Hughes, the Real Fifth Beatle on YouTube, I've uploaded my first live stream. It was me and Al Suspiria, a bit of a Friday the 13th retrospective on the first 6 films. We'll be looking at doing the last 6 or 7 in a couple of weeks. So if you haven't, go and check my channel out and subscribe. It'd be much appreciated.
Ah, cool. Very cool. Yeah. What's going on your channels, Jay?
I don't have anything in stone coming up lately. Tomorrow night, Cole and I will be doing an episode of the movie discussion Pocket Dimension, though. Tune in to that at 8 Eastern.
Oh, cool. And Gibbs, I think Gibbs is going to be treating us to like a collection video on his channel maybe soon.
Yeah, I got something coming from Japan that I'm waiting on, so it might be a couple of weeks. Yeah, nice. I know it's really. I'm exotic. So when that comes in, I might try to throw something up.
All right, very cool.
Famicom, perhaps. Super Famicom.
Super Famicom.
Super Famicom. Okay,
awesome.
Cool. Lord mentioned what was going on his channel, but go ahead and reiterate if you want, man. You've got some good guests coming up on your channel.
Yep. So on Friday, I have David Morrell, the author of First Blood, the novel that introduced Rambo to the world. He'll be on my channel at 8 o'clock. We'll be talking to him. On Saturday, I will be joining Jay and Jonathan to end our lives with the Trinidad Scorpion Pepper Challenge on the S'mores and Doors show. Then on Monday, if I survive, Steve Remsnick Tim, important 80s horror writer, particularly short fiction, will be joining me at 8. Kevin Lucia on Friday the 5th. Critical Pursuit will be back on the 17th. Mike Ardenson on the 19th, and Ramsey Campbell on the 22nd. There's a couple more things that are coming together that I can't announce just yet, but yeah, it's like February is pretty much full.
And is this the final round of the Pepper Challenge?
No.
Okay.
Nope, there's one more.
So this one is the what pepper?
Trinidad Scorpion.
The Trinidad Scorpion, and the next one is what?
Carolina Reaper.
Oh, the Reaper. That's right, the Reaper. Okay.
There they are.
This is going to be a problematic Saturday.
What's going on with you, Stone?
Well, I haven't thrown anything up on my website since the best Blu-rays of last year. I was hoping to do a review for that special Columbia box set where I took all the 4Ks out and gave them all out as Christmas gifts along with the digital copies. But aside from that, I've been too busy with my book. I've just been too busy. I mean, I want to get this book done this year. I'm I plan on doing a butt ton of interviews and read a bunch of books, do a lot of notes and everything. But I've been working on this thing diligently for the past 2 weeks now, and 37 chapters, almost got one done, and that's on Myrna Loy. So we'll continue from there.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yep.
What's your website?
Oh, stonegasman.com.
Oh, easy enough. Yeah. Cool.
And also, sorry. I'm so sorry. One more final thing I'll say. I'm not going to say who, because of course not everything is set in stone, obviously. But hopefully I'll bring on a special guest on Thursday night, which a lot of you are familiar with. So I'm not saying anything else.
We've got some special Patreon exclusive commentary coming over on Region Free, featuring the great Stone Gassman and Lauren.
The Mask of Fu Manchu. Yes.
Ah, cool.
Well,
Yes,
you know what the infamous line in that movie, Piz, is kill the white man and take his women.
Which is always good advice. Always.
Oh, of course. Always good advice.
Piz, make sure all the patrons that are watching this are like taking advantage of what they're eligible to get, because there's a lot out there now.
There is a lot on the Region Free Patreon. There are multiple commentaries up there, exclusive. And we have Raiho, who is basically giving you the opportunity to force him to watch a really bad movie and then review it on an upcoming show. That poll is up on the Patreon at the moment. Let me see what the
Isn't Boys in the Sand leading right now?
I don't think that was one of them.
I think it should be a write-in.
Let's see here. The choices are The Mummy, Justice League, The Dark Tower, and Transformers: The Last Night. And right now there is a two-way tie. I'm sorry, there's a tie right now between The Mummy and The Dark Tower.
That better be the Tom Cruise Mummy, right?
It is, yes, it is.
Good. Thank goodness. Oh, man. I'll say there's 3 great Mummy movies.
No, there's not.
And okay, there's 2.5 great Mummy movies.
No, there's not.
Oh, come on, Lorne. Come on.
Okay, wait. Yes, you're right. There's the 32 film.
Boris Karloff, and then the 57 British Hammer movie with Christopher Lee.
Exactly, that's fair.
And I think the Brendan Fraser one is a guilty pleasure.
It's crap.
But just that first one.
It's crap.
Not the sequels.
It's crap.
Oh.
We remember them as a lot more fun than they are, I promise you.
Yeah, I knew.
Captain Halloween says the Dracula discussion on Patreon was really good. Thanks, man. Yeah, we've got currently up there right now, we've got an I Dismember Mama live commentary. We've got the Dracula discussion, which is a patron exclusive. And with Christian, Lauren, and Cameron. We've got the Star Wars holiday special commentary, which was very fun if you guys missed that one during the holidays. And got a lot more cool stuff coming up on there as well. But if you've not voted for Visual Media Masochist, which is Raiho's little thing here, definitely do that. Make sure you're forcing him to watch the worst possible one on that.
I just want him to have to watch 70s gay pornography. That's
maybe that'll be next month.
Boys in the Sand. Write it in.
That's a higher tier.
Jess says the Star Wars holiday special was a fun commentary. Thank you. Sword Forever, who's a new patron, he said the Dracula discussion was awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, right on, man. Let me give a shout out to our current patrons right now. Let's see. Shout outs to Sword for Horror, Jeff Overing, Jamie, Cameron, Jess Graham, The Daily Ghost, James Welch, Joshua Smith, Lee Gannon, Steak Sauce, Disco Demon, Kevin Smythe, Stone, and Keith, Captain Halloween. Thank you all for being patrons of Region Free. We appreciate it. Yeah, right on. And I want to thank all you guys for being my patrons. I appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out tonight. Thanks for your support. I appreciate it. And it's always fun to do these and just hanging out and shoot the bull. And so Thanks again for joining me. Let's give some more shout outs here. Shout out to Gabe K. Oakla for the $4.99 super chat, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, Killer Cutie, Tatted White Boy 420, Adam, Mr. McNugget, PlayStation 9, and Uncanny Spirit for tuning in over on Twitch. Appreciate that. So let's see who's with us on YouTube still. Jess Graham, Brian Trash, Sean McManus, Johnny Melancholy, my buddy Big Crack Rock. They're not timed exclusives, Big Crack Rock. They're there, man. Go check them out. My buddy Nico, Aaron Lewis, also patrons. DJ, thank you for hanging out tonight. DJ Griffin, Jeff Sheeran, Baby Herman, my buddy Ork, even though he's a noob, Sebin Seagal, Multi Revelator, thank you. But yeah, Steak Sauce was in the house. But yeah, thanks for tuning. What?
Maybe.
No, I think this second Steak Sauce was the real Steak Sauce. There was a imposter Steak Sauce, I think, but then I think the real Steak Sauce.
It was A1, and then there was like the store brand.
Exactly. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, thanks again for hanging out with me tonight, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks to everybody who tuned in. It was a lot of fun. We'll see you next time. Be sure to tune in this Thursday for Region Free, and take care. Have a good one. And until next time, peace.